Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the story of Minglan. Okay, so the plot of this story is that a young concubine daughter, she's the sixth mistress of the house. Her mother passes away from giving childbirth. She's raised by her grandmother, and this story follows her life and her romantic interests and all her bumps and ups and downs that she goes through throughout this time period. Okay, so that's the brief rundown, okay? Because we're about to get into it. All right, so I have my phone here because I have a couple notes. Let's talk about how this storyline is kind of directed throughout this whole story, right? You see not only Minglan's side of the story, but you see her sister Molan's side of the story, Rulan. I do not know how to pronounce these names, so please do not be upset with me, okay? Now, you see how her other two sisters live, and what they kind of go through a little bit. And you see the main characters, which is her and then Guy. I'm just gonna call him second uncle, right? Because I do not know how to say that name. Second uncle, and the young lord are the other two. So there's really three main characters, but there's a lot of supporting characters, and they have a lot of story to their character that makes it feel like okay, you know, it makes them feel like they're also main characters as well, which some people would call that an ensemble cast, but at the end it doesn't really keep continuing with their lives, so it's not really an ensemble cast, but whatever. Okay, so you have second uncle and the young lord, and these are her main love interests. You know, there's like two more guys, or one more guy. He's like the young doctor, the young doctor, whatever. If you see me picking up my nails, I'm sorry. I have to warn them. So the story, the way it's directed, it not only talks about her life and her side of it, it also shows the two love interests, their sides of the story, like how they were young and how they interacted with her when they were young, and how they grew up and how their life passed. And I really like that, because in some dramas it kind of just like, okay, you see how she is, and then it's like, I'm the main man, and I'm just like this. You don't know why I'm like this. You haven't seen me struggle, but you know there's a struggle apparently. You know, it kind of leaves them with a little bit of mystery, you know. With this one, it's really fleshed out, and you can see why they acted like this. Why in their past, what happened in their past is coming back now, and it's affecting them. The show is very realistic, okay? It's not like, oh, something bad happened to me and then it doesn't affect my mental health. It doesn't affect how I process information. It doesn't affect how I interact with people. It affects them. And later on in the story, it does affect. You can see it affect how it affects them. So I really enjoyed that. Now we're gonna get more into the characters and how I felt about them in the show. So you have second uncle and young lord, right? Like I said, the two love interests. So in the story, it is presented to us that Minglan and the young lord are gonna be together, right? And again, spoilers. It is presented to us. The way it is directed, it's directed for us to like them. It is directed for us to like them together as a couple, to like the young lord and be interested in what he's doing, what he's got going on, and oh, does she really like him? Or yeah, she likes him, but she's following proper etiquette and he's just being whatever. I like how it's directed like that. And then when inevitably they don't end up together, you see her heartbreak, and you see how that heartbreak affects her, because she's like, you know what, I can really just save my money get in my bag and be by myself and be okay, and she kind of is now nonchalant to marriage talks until like that young doctor guy comes, and then even him, she was like, she was like, she didn't love him, you know what I'm saying? But the story took enough time and enough pace. It was 73 episodes. You better have good pace in the show, okay? It was a really good pace to change from us, the audience, from liking the young lord and him being the perfect match for her, to liking the second uncle and for him being a perfect match to her. The flow of it, I really liked it. I love the pacing of the show, right? Because this show does have revenge aspects to it, right? If you do something bad to Minglan or something bad to people she loves, she is going to get revenge. And I like how in the show, right, it kind of sets it up, because in the beginning, around like episode 10 or something like that, her and her sisters are being taught by this steward, right? And the lady, Minglan was very impressed with how the lady kind of punched them, because like you have the fifth sister who's from the main wife, and then you have the fourth sister who's from the evil concubine. The fourth sister is older than the main sister, than the fifth sister, and then Minglan is the youngest. Okay, boom. So the fourth and fifth sister, throughout the first half of the show, they're kind of butting heads, right? The fifth sister wants to do anything and everything to get on the fourth sister's nerve, right? Fourth sister is the Molan, fifth sister is Rulan or whatever, right? Okay. So they got into a fight during class, and the teacher basically punished them in a way that you could find no fault in it, right? And Minglan, when she was talking to her grandma about it, she really admired the teacher, because the way she handled things were to allow the situation to shape itself and to not go in and try and exact revenge too fast. And you can see that concept being taken and being applied to how she deals with other people in situations. And I really like that. It's not like she's just smart. It's like, oh no, she's listening to the people who are teaching her. She's learning from situations, and she's learning she learns from other people's situations too. And then she takes it and she applies it to her own life. And I really, really enjoyed that, okay? So, like I said, it's a revenge show, right? Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so again, spoilers. The concubine Lim caused the death of Minglan's mother, right? Because she, either she sent the doctor away while she was trying to give birth or something like that. And so Minglan and her mother and her that'll be her aunt. Minglan and her aunt are finding proof of this and all this kind of stuff. And so Minglan in turn the show does a lot of showing and not telling, right? You don't hear her say, I'm going to plot revenge against this person because they did X, Y, and Z. You see her absorb the information, okay. And then you see stuff being set in place. Right, she might be like, oh well, that didn't work, we'll try something else. But that's it. You don't know. These people do not know that Minglan set them up, okay? And she set them up so good they would never have even thought that she was the reason, okay? She didn't set it up. And see, she shaped the situation and then let the person walk in and fall into the trap, okay? And I really enjoyed that. I love it. This show is kind of slow paced, and it's kind of a slow burn, and it's kind of delayed gratification, okay? You don't get that instant boom, 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 boom from other shows. That's like, okay, episode 10, this happened. Episode 11, it was done with and dealt with. No, okay, no. You got episode 10. Something happens, 11, 12, 13, 14, and maybe 15, 16, you might see something happen, But it keeps you intrigued throughout all those episodes. And it's just very much so realistic, because realistically, to set a good trap, you can't, it's not gonna be instant, okay? And it's not gonna be bold. Well, it's not gonna be like, I have a direct hand. If some, you smart people, if they setting up something, they doing it so slick that you don't, they're not even in the vicinity, okay? They're not in the room. They're just like, what? That happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how Minglan is. She's real slick with it, and I love it, okay? Now, let me see. In this show, we're going to hop into some of the characters. The show, you're going to hate. You are going to hate the father, okay? Because he pampers concubine Lynn, and when he just thinks with not his brain, okay? Because when it comes to her, he don't let her go through all this stuff. She does everything, this, that, and third. She just and he falls for it. And see, and I watch Vicky, right? And I watch it with the comments, the time comments, and people say that he knows she's running, that the concubine's running game on him. But he's just like, he just doesn't want to acknowledge it. And I kind of think the same thing. Because how are you a scholar and you don't know when somebody's running game on you? You know, and it's just such an apparent game. It's like, come on now. Come on. She's blatantly like, okay. So that's him. He's kind of a waste. You kind of start liking him the last episode. If that. Well, you kind of start liking him the last few episodes. Because he kind of has Minglan's back, kind of, okay? And I can sum up their relationship, Minglan and his relationship, with around episode, I think it was episode 10. He was like, hey, if somebody ever, after she got punished, right? Because she got punished with her sisters because, you know, she was with her sisters. So it's basically the teacher was like, if one person mess up, y'all all mess up. So if one person get punished, y'all all get punished, right? And so after that, the father came and he was like, hey, somebody's bullying you or giving you a hard time, let me know. And she was like, your daughter's doing fine, you know, I'm doing okay. And then when he leaves, because I mean, he only spoke a couple words to her, and then he had to go off and handle his women and whatever going on with them. And Minglan said, you know, the time for me needing him is past. And that's referring to when she was 8 and her mother died, and she was kind of left like just aimlessly there, because apparently if your mama ain't around, folks just don't care about the kid. It's weird, okay? And so she needed him, and the person who came and saved her was her grandma, not him. So yeah, to the next character, Grandma is the real MVP. Okay, I love Grandma. I love how her and Minglan, I love their scenes together. Okay, I have nothing bad to say about Grandma. Okay, I love her. She does not play about her Minglan. Okay, she said, not my Minglan. Y'all ain't gonna play with my girl. Okay, I love Grandma. I'm so happy she did not die, because I thought she was gonna die and I was gonna be so upset. Happy she didn't. Okay, so you have the fifth sister. The fifth sister, she's alright. She just kind of, the way the story sets it up, she doesn't really have like special talents or anything. You know, she's just like the legitimate daughter of the house. But she has a really good relationship with Minglan. It's kind of like, in the beginning you're like, is it because like you just want to get the fourth sister mad that's why you're like being all buddy with Minglan? But towards the end, like when they both started getting married, you really see that it's like, oh, like cute sister moment. Like they actually have like a good relationship. Also, there's another daughter. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. My food came and I'm gonna eat my food. So I don't even, well, okay, what was I talking about? I know I was talking about the fourth sister and the fifth sister. I was talking about the fifth sister's relationship with Minglan, right? Okay. I really enjoy the sweet moments they have, because it's like Minglan would be like, oh, I have a present have a present for so and so. They'll be like, oh wow, see, Minglan's so sensible and da da da. She's like, oh yeah, fourth sister has something even better, and it's like, oh, that's so nice. And, fourth sister, fourth sister, she kind of, she doesn't not stand up for Minglan, but like when there was rumors going out about Minglan, she was like, hey, like, don't worry about those rumors, like, they're just jealous of you and da da da. And it's like, that's nice, like, that's just nice stuff sisters go through, right? But that fourth sister, she is just like her evil, nasty mother, Concubine Lynn, okay? So basically those two, Concubine Lynn and the fourth sister, I'm gonna put them together, right? Those two are the type of girls who will like fake weakness and like fawn over guys to get them, right? So basically those two, their goal is to climb a higher branch so that, people will, not look down on them anymore. Because especially in this show, they basically tell you being a concubine ain't it, okay? Being a concubine is not it. You're basically just a servant who sleeps with the master, okay? People are like, I'd rather die than be a concubine. It's like, oh, whoa. But in like other shows, it's like, oh, well, she's a concubine, okay? So it's like, that's interesting how that kind of translate. So they just want to climb a higher branch. They don't care who they step on or who they get in trouble and stuff. And they're just the people who fall into Minglan's trap. And I love to see that. Okay, so then you have, we're going to start with Young Lord. You have Young Lord, right? He is some sort of prince, or his mama is, but they're not like, they're I don't know. They're noble. They're nobility. That's all I know, okay? All I know is that they're noble. Noble. All I know is that they're nobles, okay? Whoa. All I know is that they're nobles, and the mother is very arrogant, okay? She wants her son to marry they say 4th rank princess or something like that. I'm assuming these are like noble titles, and they're not actually like related to the, not even related. They're not even like the daughters of the emperor. So yeah. So she has high aspirations for him, but all he can think about is Minglan, right? And he likes to show that he like obviously prefers Minglan, but every time he does that, it makes the fourth sister mad, and then that in turn makes Minglan's life harder. So in the show, you see that she's like, hey, like, can you chill out? Can you stop? Like, stop doing all this, okay? Because back then, if something is seen as improper, the person who gets the brunt of the punishment is the girl, okay? They might laugh at the guy or call him passionate or something like that, but it's the women who get really in trouble. Their reputation gets down, the whole family's reputation. The other girls in the house can't even get married, okay? And so Minglan is very aware of this, and the young lord is very not aware, okay? And throughout the show, you kind of see Minglan, she kind of does like this temperature check, right? When she's talking to men, and specifically men who either people want them to have interest in Minglan, or they have an interest in Minglan, or she is just getting to know them, she will say something about like the women's struggle, and like depending on their reaction, it's like, okay, because it's like the young lord was like, what, and then the young doctor was like, yeah, my grandma, she would be like a world-renowned doctor right now, but she's a woman, so it's like all she can do is really teach me. She's like, okay, you might be a candidate. And then the second uncle, he kind of has the same thing. He's like, he understands the struggle. So hey, now speaking of the second uncle, we're going to get into him, right? Okay, so in the family tree, somehow the second uncle and the young lord are related. That's why he refers to him as second uncle, right? He is the legitimate son of the former Big Madam, because that's what they call the main wife. They call her the Big Madam. I don't know if they have a better translation for that or not, but whatever. but his mom passed away, right? And in the show, you will understand and see why she passed away, how she passed away, why she got married to the family in the first place. Because her family is a family of merchants, right? But his family are the Mosques. They have a noble title, so it's like that's uneven. But they married her They had a main wife before, right? The second uncle's dad had 3 wives, okay? The 3 main wives at different points in his life, okay? The first one, he divorced her because his family was in debt and in trouble, and so he divorced her and married the second uncle's wife because she's a merchant family and they have a lot of money, and that helped out his family, right? When the second uncle's mom found out, it was a whole big thing. You see in the show, right? Again, like I said, spoilers through all of this, whatever. And so that kind of shapes how mean the dad is to the second uncle. He's like mean. He's so mean. It's like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You know? And then you see the third main wife. She has a younger son, but he's not that important. She's like, oh no, don't, and it's some ways kind of weird, because it's like every time she tries to pacify the dad's anger and try to defend the second uncle, he gets even angrier. He gets so angry, and it's like where's all this anger coming from? But the big madam notices that, and she does it on purpose. So it's like, so if I see that, what I'm saying, if I'm like, let's say boyfriend, right? He's upset at somebody, right? And I'm like, hey, look, you don't be so upset at them, okay? They're really trying, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and he's getting even more angrier, and then he goes and takes it out on that person he's angry at. I would stop saying stuff, I stop talking. Hey, look, I say this and this person gets even more trouble. I'm gonna stop talking. But she keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and it's basically to the point where the dad's just so like verbally and physically abusive. Like, it's so strange. Oh, I hate that family. Okay. So yeah, that was a synopsis of Guy Tang. I call him Guy Tang, because that's what it sounds like in the show. But I'm called second uncle. Sorry. Second uncle, that's his family stuff, right? He also has an eldest brother from the first main wife that the man divorced. But he's sickly, but he knows that the second uncle is like competent, and he'll be a great person to have the family title. But his whole hang up with him is he's mad at his mom. But it's like, okay, so you're mad at me for something that my dead mother did, allegedly, because he's mad at the mom for no reason. That's the thing. The mom did not know. He's like, oh, the second uncle's mom caused my mom's death. No, your daddy caused the death, okay? Because your dad used women to take care of his family situation. So be mad at your daddy, not second uncle's mom, okay? But that never really gets resolved and cleared, whatever. But so he has a grudge with Guy Tank. He has a grudge with second uncle, only based off hearsay that he heard about a deceased person that's not even here, okay? So it's like, you're mad at me for somebody else did? It's weird. So yeah, that's that. Let me see. Let me check my notes. I love what's unique about this show, which is probably not unique. I just need to watch more shows. But what's different about this show to me, and from my Rolodex and stuff that I watch, this show focuses on the main people. I mean, normal people, not main. It focuses on the normal people, right? Because, the emperor and the palace harem, that's a whole thing. And you kind of don't know what the average Joe does. Not even the average Joe. The average well-off family does, right? Because it's different. It's different, but kind of similar, because it's like you still have like concubines doing weird stuff and stuff, So I like how it shows the officials and how they live. I also like how it treats the maids and servants more humane. Like, it's not like, oh well, this servant was caned to death. It's like, oh no, this servant so and so was caned to death. You know, they have names to them. You know, you see in in normal places, in normal well off households, they either marry their servant off or the servant decides to stay. You know, you don't really get that a lot with the palace dramas. Like, I know you do get that with Ruyi's Love Palace, and you don't get that with Ancient. You get that with Ruyi's Love in the Palace. And it's like, it looks like, oh wow, that's weird. Like, why would she send her off? But people, I mean, they did that apparently. I love how it shows the bond between her maid, her like main maid. I'm blanking on the name, so I'm just put a picture. I love Zhao. I don't know. I love their relationship because she's like, hey, like, I'm with you, okay? At the second last episode, she was like, hey, look, I'm a die. I'm ready to die with you, girl. Let's get it. And I really like that. So, I also like between when, spoiler alerts, when the second uncle and Minglan get married. I like their marriage, right? It's not based in fantasy. It's not based in unrealistic romantic expectations. It's based in realness realness from within the show, right? So the show creates its own world, right? And you can tell what's realistic and what's not realistic from the actions and the characters, right, in that universe. And for their universe, the marriage is very realistic. I wouldn't go far and say like now, like in actual, like, because I don't know. But their marriage is very realistic. They go through ups and downs. She's been so used to like men letting her down that you see how that affects her in a marriage. You see how she slowly opens herself up. She's so used to being the prim and proper sixth miss, and that carries over, because in a marriage, you're still the same person, So you can't. It's not like now marriage is great, or now this is all drastically changed. She changes and shows her love for the second uncle. It changes throughout the second half of the show, and I find that very beautiful. My favorite moments was when she got married and when grandma kind of grabbed her. I bawled. I was sitting in my bed, lights off, bawling. Okay, I was crying. I also liked in the end when she was like banging the gong and pleading for the second uncle's case. That was so powerful to me. That was like the real testament of how much she loves him, I really enjoyed that. Also, I want to add in, I really enjoy and like how they show the role of a main wife, because from the outside looking in, it just looks like, okay, the woman just stay at home and just play music and play stuff all day. It's like, no, the main wife is basically the accountant, okay? She has to make sure everything's running to top shape, and I really liked how Minglan showed that, and also how she groomed the little girls around her, how that was also shown. Oh yeah, I also cried when when the second uncle's daughter, right? Because he has a daughter from some brothel woman. She's evil as well, but she's not the main character. He has a daughter. He had a son. The daughter finally called Minglan mom, and I cried at 3 o'clock in the morning in my bed. I was boo-hoo-hooing, okay? So yeah, oh yeah, the outfits were beautiful. They weren't really bold and blatant colors all the time. They were more muted blues and greens and yellows and cute little different patterns. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, um, like, as you can tell, I really love this show. It has so much rewatch potential because like you just fall in love with the show all over again when you rewatch it. And I highly recommend it. Okay, so yeah, you can watch Minglan on Viki.com. I would really um recommend that because you can also, because like you get time comments, right? So you see other people's reactions and opinions through the comments, and I find that very hilarious and very informational. There are spoilers sometimes, so if you really just hate spoilers, don't watch it with time comments. But if you don't care, you can watch the time comments. So yeah, that was this video. I might come back with another one because I have a lot of Chinese drama shows I like and I have opinions on them. So yeah, I love y'all. See y'all on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back. Peace.